Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega. Tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. How's it going, guys? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So there might be noise coming from like outside my apartment because they're redoing the stairway or stairwell or whatever. So if it gets noisy or whatever, that's beyond my control. I can't do anything. So I'm sorry, but welcome everyone. How's it going? Happy 24 hours with my Pixel 4a. I know there were a lot of people yesterday, and it looks like there's a good amount of people today. And I know a lot of people probably have questions when it comes to the 4a. There's some things I want to talk about. There's some things I don't know if it's clear up really, but if you have any questions about the 4a, if you have any questions about this or how it fares against my Pixel 4, or my iPhone 11 Pro or my Huawei P40. Where's my Huawei? Hold on, give me a second. Need to get this. It's weird not using it as my primary now that the 4a is my primary. But if you have any questions regarding it, please feel free to ask. We're probably going to spend the hour talking about the 4a again. The reason I do want to talk about the 4a so extensively is because I really think it is a great buy for the price. I said that yesterday. I think at the $350 price point, I really don't know, especially after using it for 24 hours now, I don't know what phone can compete with this. There were some comments, I think, in my last video that I put out yesterday, and I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through some of those comments as well. But I do want to talk about my experience so far, 24 hours in. You know, if I've noticed any kind of like lag, or if there's been any hiccups, or what kind of like issues I've had. I'm going to share all of that with you today. So before I do that though, let me go ahead and let me get into the comments here. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have everything ready to go. So Brian was first in here and said, let's see what you got, Pixel 4a. It's got a lot. It's got a lot. It is, I can't remember who said this now. Who was calling it plastic fantastic? Was that Deepak? I can't remember. But really, it is. It is a fantastic piece of plastic, this 4A. Anyway, T Develops is in here. Hello, what's going on, T Develops? Nice to see you in here. You're becoming a regular, just like some of the others. So very nice to see you. Mario's in here as well. What's up, man? What's up, Mario? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Team Varai tuning in as I pick up my wife from work. What's up, everybody? What's going on, Team Varai? Nice to see you, man. Big House Productions is in here. Hey, Jerome, listening from work. Welcome, Big House. Glad you can make it, even though you're here listening in from work. Nice to see you, man. Yeah, like Brian says, bring the questions, everyone, for sure. Bring any questions you might have. Even if I can't answer them like right now, I can always look into it. We can always talk about it. Paul Hendricks watching from my Poco F2, and I think I said earlier, very fancy. So Paul, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Let me scroll down here. Team Varai says, Jerome, aka another jealousy day for me. I'm sorry, Team Varai. Big House says, Jerome made me pull out the 2XL. Were you just in a pixel mood? Is that what's going on? It's weird because, I mean, I made a big stink about this 4 yesterday compared to the 4A, and I still feel very similarly. I still have very similar sentiments even after a day. You know, usually you kind of have like those, what are they called? What is it called when you get married right away and you're like in love and then it wears off? The honeymoon phase. So you would think the honeymoon phase would be over after a day, but I still feel very strongly about this phone. Not in a sexual loving way, but in a like, damn, this is a good price for this phone. You weirdos, perverts. Rajiv is in here. Yo, Jerome, what's going on, Rajiv? Nice to see you in here. Glad you can make it. Nice to see you again. Selwonk says, what are you going to do with your P40 Pro Plus now? I'm currently doing camera comparison videos, working on taking photos. I haven't had enough time, Selwonk, to really sit and discuss with all of you how I feel about the camera on this phone. I'm actually going to take a little time today and show you some camera samples that I took yesterday. So I did spend some time yesterday taking photos, trying to work on a video. And then last night at around 12-ish a.m., as I was editing video for a camera comparison, I started falling asleep at my desk. This is how busy I am. As much as I want to get this camera comparison out, I don't have enough hours in the day to do everything I need to do, which is crazy. Paul almost skipped Jerome for a day, but now I'll install everything after and tomorrow. Well, Paul, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to spend some quality time here in the stream. Very nice to see you, Paul. Sean's in here as well. What up, Jerome? Hashtag Pixel Crew. What's going on, Sean? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Selwong says, I predict the battery will be horrible in about a year. Let's put a pin on that, Selwonk, and let's see where that battery is a year from now. Well, let's actually see if I still own this phone a year from now. But you could be right. You could be right. Yeah, Brian says Selwonk with the call out to Google. Sean says, and Sean kind of disagrees there. LMAO, I don't think so. It shouldn't malfunction with a mid-range processor. I guess only time will tell, right? And we'll see where that goes from, you know, a year from now. It's a long time from now, but we'll see. Big House says, yep, I put the Moto Edge down for the day. Yeah, I mean, to hear you bring out the Pixel 2 XL, it's like, damn, okay. A said, how am I pronouncing that? A Slacks, AS1ACCZ. What's going on, man? I was going to order the Pixel 4a because I currently use a Pixel 2, but I think the Pixel 4a 5G or 5 will be a better buy. And first of all, however you pronounce that, welcome, man. I don't know if I've seen you in here before. So if I haven't, welcome to the stream. I will say that the 4a 5G could be an excellent buy. Compared to the Pixel 4a. I think the Pixel 4a is a great buy at $350, but the 4a 5G could be an excellent buy as well for $500. It just depends on how big the battery is going to be. I mean, obviously it's going to have a better processor, right? A faster processor. It's going to have 5G on it, but what else are they going to add to it? Bigger battery, bigger display, maybe a secondary camera, but we'll talk about that. We'll get into that maybe in a little bit there. The Pixel 5, completely different story. I don't know if the Pixel 5 will ever become a better buy. It really just depends. It's like a fly or whatever. To me, I think the Pixel 5 has a lot. I think for me, the Pixel 5 has to show its worth because the Pixel 4 did not show its worth. I was bitching up a storm yesterday saying this phone does not deserve the $800 price tag. It deserves a $500 price tag, maybe a $550 price tag, but for 64 gigs of internal storage, a $500 price tag seems more reasonable than an $800 one. But we'll talk about that. We'll kind of get into that if I have time a little later today. Arcosinus's opinion, I probably mispronounced that, but please let me know if I said that properly or not. Google has changed its processing. HDR Plus's shadow processing has been toned down and noise reduction has gotten worse. The foil representation seems worse than before. Thank you for providing that feedback. I haven't had a chance. I took pictures yesterday. I haven't really had a chance to go in depth yet because yesterday I took pictures with my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. By the way, the very first camera comparison I'm putting out is going to be the Huawei P40 Pro Plus, a $1,300 phone versus this $350 Pixel 4a. Obviously, that's a $1,000 difference in a phone. And also, obviously, it's not like $1,000 difference just in the camera. There are other things that make the price the way it is, but I feel like that's a very dramatic price difference. And for somebody that prioritizes camera as number one, it'll be nice to see how a $1,300 camera fares against a $350 one. But Arcosinus's opinion. Thank you for that feedback. So when you say HDR Plus's shadow processing has been toned down, are you saying that the shadows are not as prominent? Are the shadows not being shown as much? Are they much darker at this point? Noise reduction has gotten worse. Well, that's not a good thing. And are you talking about when you say Google, are you talking about all of the pixels? Is this an update? Is this an update to the actual Pixel lineup? I need a little more info. So please, if you can, please share. Sean says, how's the battery life? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. I'll discuss in a little bit. Oh yeah, there you go. A-Stacks. Okay, I got it. I gotcha. A-Stacks. Yes, new viewer. Well, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for taking the time to check it out and see what I'm about. For anybody that's in here that's new, that doesn't know who I am or what I do, yes, I do review tech, but I do it in a very unbiased way, in a very straightforward way. This Pixel 4a was not given to me for free, even though Google has given me free phones or has given me a free phone in the past. Other manufacturers have also given me free phones in the past, and usually it's a one and done kind of deal because I'm very blunt with how I feel about phones, and I'm very straightforward, and I don't kiss ass when it comes to phones, and I don't get on my knees for a certain manufacturer or brand. So a lot of times if they don't like what I have to say, I never hear from them again. I also don't do hashtag Team Pixel every other 2 seconds or every other post. So that might be another thing as well. Anyway, Just an FYI for people who are not familiar with me. Max Damage, hello from Russia. Max Damage, welcome. Nice to have all these international people come and stop by. It's really awesome to see. So thank you, Max Damage, for coming by. Big House Production says if the Pixel 5 is over $700, yeah. Now, okay, no, you have to put a caveat there, Big House. If the Pixel 5 has a Snapdragon 765G chipset and is over $700, then we're gonna have a problem. If it has an 800 series chipset, then we can maybe justify the price, but I'm with you though. I'm with you. Oddweight is in here. Oddweight Sharma. Yo, Jerome, what's going on? Oddweight, nice to see you, man. Welcome again. It is nice to see new regulars come by. So Oddweight, thank you for stopping by. Martin Lou's in here. I'm still waiting for a genuine Pixel upgrade to the Pixel 3. What happens when full res backup ends on Google Photos? It's already ended, hasn't it? Or at least the storage wise, it's ended. Or are we talking about something else, Martin? Clarify, please, sir. Or are you saying for the Pixel 3, it's still unlimited for you? Because I don't know how that works. Let me know. Anyway, Martin, welcome. Sean says, LOL, Pixel never deserves to be a flagship. If Will was in here, if Will D was in here right now, he would completely agree with you, Sean. For sure. Argosinus says, have you heard any info about the mysterious Night Sight 2.0? Mark Lavoie intrigued us during the Pixel 4 representation, meaning the regular Pixel 4. He said it was on its way. So I don't know any info on whatever might be upcoming for Night Sight 2.0. If there was any time to bring out Night Sight 2.0, it would be for the Pixel 5. I've said this many times for people who know me here, but I prefer the photos at night on the iPhone 11 Pro over the Pixel 4. If for people who don't agree with me when it comes to that, please do yourself a favor. Take a look at my camera comparisons when I compare the iPhone 11 Pro versus the Pixel 4 at night. In most cases, the Pixel 4 could not keep up with the iPhone 11 Pro. And that is why the Pixel 5, I feel, needs to really step up its game in the camera department this year, especially if it wants to compete against its own products, against the Pixel 4a, against the Pixel 4a 5G, against its own Pixel 4. The Pixel 5 can't just be a tiny step above in the camera department. It needs to do a better job this year. But Arcosinus? I don't know much about Night Sight 2.0. I don't know much detail about it. If I hear anything, I'll be sure to cover that. But for now, I really don't know much about it. Okay, let me scroll down here. Paul says Max Damage sounds like a character in Street Fighter. Marcus A, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. I think the Pixel 5 will perform fine if the update on the read-write speed with USB 3.0. And I'm assuming the Pixel 5 will be fine in terms of processing, even if it's a 765G. I just cannot justify the $700 price point. That's the only thing for me. That's the hard part for me. Martin says it's still free on my Pixel 3. I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's good to know. I didn't realize that's how it worked. Sean says the Pixel 5 XL might be their flagship phone or a big surprise if it happens. For sure. Martin says it's a shame they've dropped it on all new Pixels. Yeah. I just thought they dropped it in general. I didn't know you were still getting free unlimited backup. That's awesome. I'm jealous. Rajiv says, I still feel the Nexus 5 was the best phone from Google ever. Wish they could have brought that. Did you like the Nexus 5 more than the Nexus 6P? I'm curious how you felt about. They were still good phones. They were some of my favorites. All those. A lot of the Nexus lineup phones have always been a lot of my favorites. But yeah. I agree, Rajiv. Marcus A says, I completely forgot that Google was going to upgrade Night Sight. I honestly, I wasn't even aware. That's how much I've been paying attention. I didn't even realize that was becoming a thing. If there was issues with it, that may be why Lavoie left. Could be very true. And who knows if Mark Lavoie brought the upcoming Night Sight 2.0, or at least the intel that he had with him, to Adobe. For people who don't know, Mark Lavoie ended up moving over to the Adobe team to work on a standalone image processing app, camera app for Adobe, which might take a lot of Pixel's features and possibly bring it to Adobe's camera app. Maybe, possibly. Max Tech Studios is in here. Hi. How's it going, people? What's going on, Max Tech Studios? Nice to see you, man. Welcome. Arcosinuses says, as for processing, Lavoie said himself, they're not that dark anymore. As for noise processing, it's been much stronger, thus less detailed. Yeah, I could see that. It has been the case for all the Pixels. There you go. Aswin, hey, what's going on? Nice to see you again. I had the flashy red Nexus 5. I had that one too. It wasn't red though, right? Wasn't it like kind of a pinkish, orangish, reddish hue, I believe? Something like that. Anyway, welcome. Mario says, I heard the battery is going to be small in the Pixel 5. To me, it's like, why even bother then? I don't even understand why they would do that. They've gotten so much flack already for the Pixel 4. Why would they put a small battery in the 5? Sri, what's going on? I know you had told me how to pronounce your last name. Is it Sanjeev? Not watching Champions League? I don't watch that, but I actually am watching RLCS season 10, season X. I watch Rocket League. I don't Champions League. I'm not watching that. Anyway, Sri, welcome. Okay, guys, I know chat is still going, and please feel free to speak amongst each other, but I'm going to start going ahead and I'm going to start talking about the Pixel 4a here. I see Gboy888 is in here though, so let me at least say hi. Any of you in favor of bringing back Nexus phones but with updated specs and components, kind of like what the iPhone SE did? If so, which Nexus? I would love to see that, Gboy888, but I don't know if that's something that they're going to be implementing. I feel like that's still something they're just going to keep calling the Pixel line. They've already, used the A moniker as their maybe resurgence of the Nexus line, but I would love to see the Nexus name come back. Maybe they'll do something like that, but yeah, I don't know. Rajiv says 6P was cheaper than other flagships. Nexus 5, a big hit in India due to the flagship spec and cheap price of $350 at the time. Thank you for sharing that. That's very true. Oddweight says, should I get the Nexus? Should I get the Note 20 Ultra? I'm getting it for $700 if I trade in my Note 10 Plus. I think the Note 20 Ultra is a good upgrade to the S20 Ultra. I think it's a good buy. I think at $700, I feel like that's a good deal. I just don't know how much you would get for a Note 10 Plus. I'm sure people in the chat can help you out. I got to move on, guys. So I'm not going to be able to get through everything right now. So I apologize, but I want to talk about the Pixel 4a. So let me move on here. Tim Schumann says space cars for nerds. That's what Rocket League is. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for providing your most, what was I going to say? I don't know. Thank you for your feedback, Tim. That was so helpful. I love Rocket League. Don't you dare talk bad about my space cars for nerds comments. ASAC says, I would love them to bring back the Google Play Edition phones. Yes, ASAC, that's something that I've said, that a lot of us have said in there. I feel like they should just make all their phones. Can you imagine the Note 20 Ultra in a Google Play Edition? That would be, oh my God, I would be drooling over that. Having that kind of hardware, why not? Samsung built phones with Gcam and Pixel OS would be lovely. It would. Totally would be. Team Verizon says, Jerome, can you play Rocket League solo offline? You could, but you can't, like, you get to play against the PC, or you can do like, play versus other people if you want to do like just LAN play. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of Rocket League is the competitive nature for it. So Anyway, yes, you can. Just okay. I got to move on, guys. I got to move on. Okay, so let's talk about man. Look at how small this phone is. Let's talk about the Pixel 4a. So around this time now, I've had this for about 24 hours, and a lot of the sentiment I had for it when I opened the phone yesterday is pretty much the same. This phone is a great deal at $350, even though I've only owned this phone for 24 hours, a little over 24 hours. I can say that this phone is totally worth the money. If you are looking for a phone at a budget price, no frills, completely clean stock Android, a good amount of storage at 128 gigs, a good camera, the Pixel 4a is going to do it for you. It really is. So far in my testing, I feel like, all right, so the things I covered yesterday is what I really like about this phone, and I'm going to have to do it again. Let me just pull up, how am I going to do this? I got to turn night mode off again. I don't really want to turn night mode. Off. But let me do that real quick just to like go through all of this again. Just give me a second, guys. 1 second. Okay. So I spent a lot of time yesterday comparing this phone to the Pixel 4, right? There you go. The Pixel 4a, what I love about this phone too at the price point is it's like all display screen versus the Pixel 4. This $800 Pixel 4 with the gigantic forehead on top here. This just aesthetically looks better. That's one of the pluses that I have with the Pixel 4a. And yes, aesthetics aren't everything, right? There's also the fact that, you know, there's a punch hole right here. So that kind of gets in the way, but I think it still aesthetically looks a lot more pleasing than the Pixel 4. I love the fact that it has a rear fingerprint reader, especially in today's day and age with coronavirus and putting on a face mask. Having a fingerprint reader is a godsend. It really is. The fact that I can use that fingerprint reader to swipe down, there you go, to swipe down for notifications is great as well. And then swipe up to pull them away is great. The fingerprint reader is accurate. Usually the phone is in my front pocket, and by the time I pull the phone out of my pocket, it's already unlocked because my finger is already aiming for that fingerprint reader back here. The looks are nothing special, right? A completely black phone with just a hint of like a seafoam green here. It's a very basic looking phone, but it has a much better looking display than what you get on an iPhone SE that has huge bezels at the top and the bottom. This is more of an all screen display. Display is good from what I can tell. So today I went out for a walk. I was actually out for like an hour and a half walk. I walked about 4.5 to 5 miles today. It was like a leisurely walk. It's something I do every morning. It's just a way to get some exercise in. But yes, while it is not the brightest in the sunlight, it did fine for me. I probably need more time in more direct sunlight, but I had no issues seeing the screen, having issues saying, oh, it's not bright enough or whatever. But you know what else I took with me on my walk was this. These are a pair of earbuds. I have many pairs of these. These are Panasonic I can't remember the names now. Panasonic HP 120s or RPJ 120s. I can't remember. But these are wired earbuds that are like $9, and these are some of my favorite earbuds. I've owned many, many pairs of them, and I'm able to take one with me because it has a headphone jack. So I spent an hour and a half today listening to music with wired earbuds, and it's something I haven't done in a long time because I have AirPods Pros. And I obviously could have taken those with me instead, but I figured, hey, I have wired earbuds. I'm going for a walk. I'm not going to the gym to lift weights where like barbells are going to be in the way and they're going to snag or whatever. And it did fine. It was great. It was like the old days of using wired earbuds. The sound quality on the earbuds were good. They were plenty loud. I didn't have to put the volume at top volume or anything like that. I thought that as far as sound quality, they sounded decent. They weren't spectacular. Also, I'm using $9 earbuds, so please, I'm not expecting like audiophile quality when it comes out of there, but they're good for what they are. And honestly, when I compare it to the Pixel 4, so I don't have my dongle with me, but like as far as speaker quality, and I took some time to listen on Spotify with the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4a, because remember yesterday I spent some time testing the speaker quality, and in a lot of ways the Pixel 4a sounds like it has just a tiny bit more volume. And I still feel like that's true, but also I think because the Pixel 4a the materials are more plasticky, the sound is a little more hollow. It might be a little bit louder, but I don't know if the materials in here make the sound, I won't say muddier, but a little more open. That might not even make a ton of sense. But as far as volume, as far as sound quality, they're very similar. They really are. I don't think one has a ton more bass than the other. One doesn't have a ton more treble than the other. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is the sound quality on both of these sound very similar. The headphone jack, the sound coming out of there sounds decent as well. It isn't crazy, like amazing, but it's something that's definitely usable. Another thing that I've noticed are the haptics on here. The haptics on the 4a are very good. I think the haptics are also pretty similar to the Pixel 4. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like what Google decided to do for the Pixel 4a is they decided to take a lot of what was on this Pixel 4, haptics, sound quality, speaker quality, whatever. They put a lot of that on the Pixel 4a. And that's a great thing. It really is, because they didn't skimp on some of the stuff on the Pixel 4a. The buttons, very tactile feeling. I will say, and I said this yesterday, the Pixel 4 has a much smoother feeling back than the Pixel 4a. The Pixel 4a feels very light when you pick it up, like very airy, very light. And that extra heft on the Pixel 4 speaks more when in terms of like quality, of premium quality, but not premium quality like the iPhone 11 Pro. $800, $1,000. This screams high quality over something like this. When you compare this $800 Pixel 4 to this $1,300 Huawei P40 Pro Plus, this screams higher quality than this $800 phone. But when you use this $350 Pixel 4a and this $800 Pixel 4, this does not scream quality over this. Yes, it's higher quality generally, but it does not scream higher quality. I said this yesterday. This phone does not equate to 2.5 times more build quality than this Pixel 4a. I think I've said that to the best of my ability. That's how I feel about it when it comes to the build quality of this phone. I think this phone is very good for what it is. Build quality, tactile buttons, very good speaker audio, like good loudspeaker audio. The fact that it's stereo speakers is great too. Yes, it has one bottom firing speaker and one speaker up on the front for the tweeter, but very good nonetheless. What am I missing here? Obviously, the camera is good, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit. As far as battery, let's talk about battery. Also, hold on. No, but before I get into battery, let me talk about the display. So I think the display is good for what it is. It can get bright. It works in sunlight. It's not something where I was having a hard time looking at the display. I felt that the display was, again, good for what it is. It's not anything amazing, right? It doesn't have the smoothness, the 90 hertz smoothness of the Pixel 4, right? It doesn't have that kind of like smoothness scrolling through the app drawer or whatever, but good colors. I mean, even for me, as far as the colors or whatever, I put my colors on natural. I don't use the boosted colors or whatever it is. I keep everything on natural. But you know, and like it's harder to see here, but just because the light's much brighter, I'm like trying to like block the light. But colors are bright. I mean, everything seems really good as far as the display. Performance wise, the only time I have really noticed lag so far is when I was in Google Play and I was trying to download all of the apps that I needed to install on this phone, like from the beginning, you know, like from a completely stock version of Android. The only time I ever noticed any kind of slowdown was when I was trying to install like 20 apps at once. I think there were times where I might have been in Chrome and I was like scrolling through Chrome and I noticed maybe it was a little slow there, but I'm going to have to take more time and like really scroll. Sorry, I know I have some meme here because I was looking at something on Telegram, but like you can see here, there's a bit of loading or whatever. And if I go faster, but it's not awful. And you can see there's a little bit of time to get the images or whatever in there. And I don't know if that's just the processor itself or the RAM or a combination of the two. But it does take some time to get things to load. Oh, here's another thing. So as far as I know, we're talking about performance and lag and all that kind of stuff, but I did a speed test using just LTE, right? T-Mobile. And as far as speed test goes, I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi right now. We might as well do a speed test here. So here's a speed test. This is on T-Mobile 4G LTE. For anybody that wants to complain that this phone isn't 5G and, well, why would I buy that phone? It's not 5G. It's going to be too slow. Is it really? Is this phone going to be really too slow for you? Is 4G LTE not fast enough right now? Is 5G mature to use right now? If you're new to my channel, I've said this many times that 5G is still not at its maturity rate, right? Here's 4G LTE right now. This is live. So whatever this ends up being at, of course, it's going to be slower than when I ran it earlier this morning. Okay, but you can see here, it's about 20 megs down, right? 23. We'll run it again. And then as far as upload speeds, okay, we're pretty slow right now. Well, we're doing it live. But 20, 25 down, 10 to 15 up. That's typically what I've been getting on my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. I take that back. My Huawei P40 Pro Plus, I've been getting about 30, 35 megs upload on there. Let me just see if I can go through my results. So those were my results earlier this morning. If you see here, I don't know if it's, there you go. If you see this morning, I was getting 57 down and 30 up. I was almost shocked that I was getting over 50 down on 4G LTE because it's typically not what I get here in Chicago. Typically what I get is that score of 23 and 14. But let me go ahead and download it, or let me do it again. Maybe it's the time of day. I don't, because I got those 50s here in my apartment, and now it's just going really slow. So maybe it's the kind of day. I don't really know. I'll take more time and do more research on that. But just to give you an idea, yes, I'm, as far as 4G LTE speeds, well, this was much slower at 15. But I've gotten now anywhere from 15 to 20-ish to over 50. And then with upload speeds anywhere from, well, like you see here, 20 to around 30, which I feel like those upload speeds are pretty good. Okay, so we covered audio, build quality, performance. I think, okay, you know what? I'm going to take some time and I'm going to share, I'm going to go through some of the comments on YouTube on the video that I put out, on the stream I put out and the video I put out yesterday, because I want to take some time and go over some of the comments that some people had. I didn't really take a lot of time to go into it, but let me see here. So give me 1 second, guys. Comparing my Pixel 4a to my Pixel 4. Here we go. So I want to go through some of these comments. Okay, so I just want to clarify a couple things. Oops, wrong screen. 1 second, guys. Let me make that bigger so we can all see this. How am I gonna? There we go. So, okay, people, comparing whatever, which is fine. Levin's here. Levin, where is Levin in here? Sorry, I missed the stream today, but I'm interested in your thoughts on the 4A. What was all there? Oh, here, this is what I wanted to go over. So I have this comment that Kram Sharon put out here. He says, yes, but in the real world, you can buy a 4 or 4XL used or new on selling sites for not a great deal more than the 4A. I would like to see that. Yesterday, there was a deal on the 4 yesterday. There was a deal on the Pixel 4 yesterday for 600 and was it $699 or $649, which is a cheaper deal, $200 less, $250 less, but it's still a very expensive phone. The one thing I didn't take time to talk about yesterday is where the Pixel 4 excels over the 4A. And there are a couple things, right? This has better build material, but I don't think the build material is that much better. It is IP68 dust and water resistant over the Pixel 4, so it has that going for it. The Pixel 4 has wireless charging. The Pixel 4 has a Snapdragon 855 chipset, so it has faster raw performance. It also has face unlock, so facial recognition, but it does not have a fingerprint reader. It does not have a headphone jack. This also has a telephoto camera, right? So there is a possibility that this takes, well, obviously it takes better pictures using the telephoto lens, but it might also take better pictures when it comes to portrait mode. And that's something I'm currently testing. So when I actually get the results and I get to take time to, figure those results out, I will share that. So yes, the Pixel 4a, did I say it also has a faster refresh rate? So the Pixel 4a or the Pixel 4, I'm sorry, I keep getting the two confused. The Pixel 4 has more things going for it in terms of like build quality, wireless charging, build dust and water resistance, a faster processor, a faster chipset. There's those are facts. Has solely for people who want to use solely. And I'm not going to sit here and shit on it, right? Those are the facts when it comes to the Pixel 4. But I will say this again. I do not think it's worth $800. I don't think it's worth that price point. The $650 deal that was out yesterday, I don't know if that was for 64 gigs of internal storage or 128 gigs of internal storage, but at $650, I still don't know if it's worth it. I feel like this phone, I still feel like the Pixel 4 is worth $500 to $550. I feel like the Pixel 4 XL is worth $600 to $650 if you can get that brand new. I think that is a fair deal for the phone. So this comment that he left here, where he says, yes, but in the real world, you can buy a 4 or 4XL used or new on selling sites for not a great deal more than the 4A. IP68 dust and water resistance, better quality screen, a Snap 855 wireless charging, slightly better photos. Personally, I hate punch holes on screens. Well, that's subjective. So like a bezel, because, I talked about the bezel or whatever. Also, that black color looks so bland and boring. Also, that's subjective. That's someone's opinion. So I'm not talking about opinions here. I'm talking about facts, right? And then he says, I bought a mint condition Pixel 4 XL in the UK for 400 pounds. So here's the thing. If you can get it for a great deal for 400 pounds instead of the 350 that it's selling for the 4A, more power to you. I am all for finding great deals. That's what I'm talking about. 500, but he's saying here in the real world, you can find them for not a great deal more. I beg to differ. If this phone is $350 brand new, I would like to see where you can buy a Pixel 4 for $400 US brand new, $50 more. I don't see that happening. I feel like that this comment is more of a defense, like, well, no, you can buy a 4, and he's saying he bought a 4 XL. He bought a 4 XL for 50 pounds more than the 4A. Like, I don't want to sit here and call bullshit, but to me it sounds like a lot of bullshit. Unless you want to show me that receipt that you bought a brand. Oh, well, no, he bought a mint condition Pixel 4 XL. So maybe he bought a used one. But again, more power to you. If you can find a great deal on a phone, more power to you. That is the whole point of what I try to do here on YouTube, is to spend the money on what you think is the best buy for you. I'm not sitting here trying to shit on the Pixel 4 or any other phone unless it deserves it, unless that price doesn't justify it. Otherwise, more power to you. So in here, he says here, but the 4, someone else commented and said, but the 4A is still a better buy in my opinion. Better screen and battery on the 4A, smaller size, extra year of updates, and new is always better than used. And then, yes, but the screen on the 4 XL is better than the 4A 1440p, all the other additional features. Who cares what Flossie said? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not gonna, I guess I can't get too into that. I just feel like there's no point to, if you can get a good deal on a Pixel 4 or a Pixel 4 XL, I feel like you should go for it, but know what you're getting into. Know that the Pixel 4 or Pixel 4 XL does not have a fingerprint reader. If that doesn't matter to you, especially in times like today, where I feel like most people would really appreciate a fingerprint reader, then that's really your call. If facial recognition or face unlock is worth it. So for me, I have a hard time because look how long it took for my banking app to use face recognition. It took forever. And my Capital One app still can't use that. I still have to put my password in there, it's annoying. It really is annoying. So anyway, I think that was really the only comment that I saw. No, there was one more comment and I wanted to share it. And it was because Mike put a comment in here. I'm actually clicking on my own video. 1 second, or today's stream. I wanted to share Mike's comment because Mike, who's Simply Your Device or Joker Tech, commented in here and said, wait, where is it? Oh, is it gone? Come on, Mike. No, it's gone. I don't see it in here. Well, Mike had a comment in there and I thought it was interesting, but Hackney Man put a comment as well. And so I'm going to share that because I want to answer that question too. Hackney Man, if Hackney Man's in here, hi, by the way. If not, hi later. But Hackney Man says, hey, Jay, good to see you. Got the 4A. One question. Could you possibly test whether there's black crush when viewing in a dark room? You may need to lower the brightness. We'll try to tune in today's show. So to give you a quick and I guess dirty answer to that, is there a black crush? Yeah, there's black crush. Let me show you the test that I did when it came to black crush, and I used this right here. So can I do this where it's not in the way? I would like for this stupid YouTube thing to go away, and it probably won't. Okay, so I did this black crush test. I took some time to do it, and typically how this works for people who aren't aware is, and I don't know how it looks on your phones when you're looking at it right now, but the way Black Crush works is sometimes, depending on the screens, it's hard to, so every screen here, every number here has a box around it, right? And you can tell the lower the number gets, the harder this square is to see around that number, right? And depending on your monitor, your LCD screen, your phone, whatever, Black Crush can start to, I'm not the best at explaining how this works, but it is harder to see this black rectangle around that number. Sorry, I should be doing this here so you guys can see. So like obviously here at 255, you can see this number easily, right? When you look at something like 14, you can still see it, but it's not as easy to see as 255. And then when you get down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so like here on my monitor, I can easily see the difference. I can see the square here around the 6. I can even see the square here around the 2. And then at 1, it becomes really hard. But for Hackney Man who asked, I tested this on the Pixel 4a, and really, I had a hard time differentiating any kind of squares in this top row. I might have been able to see it somewhere around the 7, but it was still really hard to see. It was mostly prominent around 13 or 14, just an FYI. And my eyes aren't the best. So for anyone who sees this, it might be different for you on your 4A if you use this test here. I will say though, when I tested this on my Pixel 4a with brightness all the way down. So that's the thing too, for people who are wondering, you need to have your brightness all the way down, and you need to do this at night in the dark. You need to look at it in the dark to see what you can really see. So yes, on the 4a, even though I might have been able to see like a 5 or a 4, it was really, really hard. And it seemed like it was the second row where I was really able to distinguish the different squares here. Here's the thing. On the Pixel 4, it was almost exactly the same. So people who are wondering about Black Crush, if you know what the Black Crush looks like on a Pixel 4, the Pixel 4a showed me pretty much the same kind of Black Crush. To kind of expound on this, when I used my iPhone 11 Pro to do this test, on the iPhone 11 Pro, I was able to easily distinguish the boxes here in the 8 to like 11 or so range, and then even some in the 5 to 7 range. So the iPhone 11 Pro was much better when it came to Black Crush than the Pixel 4, but the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4a were pretty similar when it came to Black Crush. So hopefully that helps you guys. For anyone who's wondering when it comes to Black Crush on the Pixel 4a, or maybe the Pixel 4, and how it compares to even someone who has an iPhone 11 Pro, just to give you guys an idea. Again, my eyes are not the best. What I see might be different than what you see. If I literally was in a dark room and I was looking and I like looked really hard and I tilted it in a certain way, yeah, you might be able to see the 1 or the 2 or the 3 on there to see these numbers. You might have been able to see them, but I'm not digging that deep. I'm not looking at it with a microscope like that. I'm giving you my best, I'm giving you my best view of what I could see to like the naked eye. I'm not looking at it like I'm trying to like win a contest here. I'm just looking at it and saying, yeah, I can see 12, 13, 14 pretty easy. When it comes to anywhere in these top 7 on the Pixel 4a or the Pixel 4, I had a very, very hard time. That's really what I'm trying to say. That's really what I'm trying to point out here. So, I think that's it when it comes to those aspects of the Pixel 4a. I'm going to get into chat here in a second. So I just wanted to make sure I shared everything that I could before I dig into the camera. But really quick, I know there are a lot of people in this chat. If you guys are new, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Liking the video helps me algorithmically. I think it helps people find the stream is what I'm trying to say. If you are new, I I do stream weekdays, 2 p.m. Central, Mondays through Fridays. That's what weekdays means. So if you're not a subscriber, I don't know what you're waiting for. Obviously, I'm the best YouTuber on this platform. So if you're not a subscriber already, please hit that subscribe button. And then really quick, if you are in the chat and you notice that people have green in their name, that is because they are part of the Phone Jerome fam, and you can be one too for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do is click that join button. You'll get the red Chicago star next to your name. You'll get to use custom emoji, and you'll get your name in every single one of my intros and outros of my live streams. Again, you could do that for as little as 99 cents a month if you click that blue join button. And if you can't find that blue join button, you can go to youtube.com/phone Jerome/join. Either way, it's just a way to support. That's my little marketing thing, and I try to do that as quickly as possible. But either way, if you can't do that, I know times are tough. Liking, subscribing, sharing, they're all great ways to support. So I thank you guys regardless. So let me get into chat here. Let me say hi to everyone. I see Brian put $1 super chat. So Brian, thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you always for that continued support. Brian is a regular contributor and always goes that extra step, goes that extra mile. So thank you, Brian, for the $1 super chat. It means a lot to me, man. Like always, you've always been so consistent with that. So thank you, man. Thank you so much. All right, let me scroll up here. Let me make sure I said hi to everybody. Okay, so I think we're good. So Karthik CK says, can you compare the Pixel 4a versus the OnePlus 7T G-Cam? I mean, as much as I would love to, Karthik, I do not own a OnePlus 7T. If I ever get my hands on one, sure, I would love to if I could get my hands on one, but I don't have one. So far you will get for people who are watching, you'll get a Pixel 4a versus a Huawei P40 Pro Plus camera comparison. That's what I'm doing right now. You will also obviously get a Pixel 4a versus a Pixel 4 camera comparison, and you'll get day shots, you'll get night shots, you'll get portrait mode, you'll get video, you'll get audio. If you're new to my channel, you can look through my old videos and you can see what I do. You also get the iPhone 11 Pro. I feel like I'm selling something to you. This is what you'll get. Now you'll get those camera comparisons, and then whatever other phones I might have in my stable at the time. Okay. So let me scroll down here. Adam says the 4a is impressive, but makes me confused as to the direction Google are going to take with the Pixel 5. And Adam, yeah, like it's something that I talk about all the time. The 4a is a very impressive phone. The 4a 5G will be probably equally, if not more impressive, with a bigger screen, with a faster processor, with the possibility of an additional lens, either a telephoto or a wide angle. Like, very impressive for the price. The 4a 5G will probably be $500. I believe that's what they're talking about. And that is my question as well. That's a lot of people's questions, is where is the Pixel 5 going to be? The Pixel 5, a $700 phone with a Snapdragon 765G, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you're going to make build quality better? Great. You're going to put wireless charging in it? Great. You're going to put IP68 dust and water resistance? Great. But what else are you going to do for me? Because that doesn't justify $700. At least for me, it doesn't. They need to do more. I've said it many times. They need to improve on the camera. If they want to separate itself from the 4a or the 4a 5G, if they don't want to cannibalize its sales, then they need to have the Pixel 5 with either higher end optics, much better like camera results, or they need to upgrade the chipset. I don't really see what else they can do. Yeah, they can put 120 hertz refresh rate on there. These are things that are like non-qualifiers for me. That, to me, those are just like, it's like adding like whipped cream to the overall package. You know, you're making these improvements here, but those aren't improvements that like you see on the Pixel 4a, where they're really like nailing the improvements down to a phone. They're giving you bang for the buck, and adding wireless charging, adding IP68 dust and water resistance, adding better build materials, adding 120 hertz refresh rate is not, to me, those are nice features to have. Those are things to separate itself from a Pixel 4a and a Pixel 4a 5G, but I don't think those are the features that people want. Give us a better camera. Give us a camera that's going to beat the iPhone 11 Pro at night. That's going to beat the upcoming iPhone 12 Pro at night, in the day, in video. The one thing I keep bitching about, that I'm going to bitch about right now, is the fact that even though the Pixel 4a has a great camera in terms of photo, it is nowhere near close in terms of video. The video quality on the Pixel 4, and I'm assuming the Pixel 4a and the upcoming 4a 5G, is nowhere close to where the quality, the stabilization is on the iPhone 11, on the iPhone 11 Pro, hell, on the iPhone SE. Nowhere close, and it needs to get there. So improve there. Give us our money's worth. Put the improvements where the improvements need to be. I don't care about wireless charging. I don't care about the build quality. The build quality on this Pixel 4a is surprisingly good. I don't need 120 hertz refresh rate. If I can pick, this is a great thing to point out here. If you can pick 120 hertz refresh rate, or you can pick better video quality with better video stabilization, which one will you pick? Which is worth it to you? Which is the higher priority? I mean, maybe 120 hertz refresh rate is a higher priority to you. And if it is, great. That's wonderful. But I think most people would want better video quality, better video stabilization, better photos at night that can beat the iPhone 11 Pro, that can beat the iPhone 11. Because what is this Pixel 5 going to be if the camera at night is still worse than the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12? What kind of improvements is that going to, be for the Pixel 5? How are people going to buy? Why would people buy the Pixel 5 if it can't be better at night in terms of photo and just video overall? You know what? This could depend on the person who's looking to buy a phone, but I am more than willing to bet that people who are trying to buy a Pixel 4 or a Pixel 4a or a Pixel 4a 5G or a Pixel 5, they're buying it not only for stock Android, but they're buying it for that camera, and they're buying it for that price. So you want to put a $700 price tag on a Pixel 5, you need to get the essentials right, which is what they did with the Pixel 4a, which is what they're going to do for the Pixel 4a 5G. But you can't put a $700 price tag on the Pixel 5 without getting the essentials right. And that's my opinion, and you guys can disagree with me, but that's really how I feel about it. That's where I feel like that's how they're going to get the best bang for the buck out of the Pixel 5. And that rant was a lot longer than I thought. So, okay. Brian says, Jerome scared me once the word lag was said. So far, guys, I have not really experienced lag on the phone. Just to give you a brief synopsis of what I've been using my Pixel 4a for: Telegram, Chrome, my banking apps, Capital One, Chase. I used Discord on it today. I used Gmail. I used Feedly, which is like a news reader. I used Instagram quite a bit today. I used the camera as well. I used the Play Store, Reddit, Twitter, Spotify, and I didn't watch a lot of YouTube, but I did a little YouTube as well. And I used this other app called Pi Music to listen to FLAC files because Spotify was not working properly for me today. But now it's working though. But otherwise, those are all the apps I used today. Kind of went back and forth with it. I spent an hour and a half today going for a walk, listening to a wired headset. And I didn't really experience any kind of lag. So for anyone who's wondering So for people who are wondering if this phone will work for you today, because I don't know what this phone is going to be like a year from now or 2 years from now, but performance-wise today, this phone is working pretty well. If you're waiting to pull the trigger on the phone because you're still not sure, because you're still a little leery on the lag, then please wait another day or two. Give me a little more time with this phone to really put it through its paces, and I can give you a better overall like judgment on the phone itself. So when that comes, I'll let you know. And please, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. Please continue to ask. I'll try to help out where I can. All right. So let me keep scrolling down. Mauricio's in here. Salazar Rosas. Hello. What's going on, Mauricio? How you doing, man? Gboy888 says, when scrolling on a dim screen, did the blacks form a smear or a dragging effect? You know what, Gboy888, I didn't spend time doing that. So let me do that tonight, and I'll let you know tomorrow. I don't want to be here and say, no, it didn't, if I really didn't. So like, yeah, obviously I was going through black screens and whatever, but it wasn't something I was paying much attention to, but I will do that. So, I'll keep you posted for tomorrow. Team Varai says, subscribe to Jerome now. Thanks, Team Varai. Thank you for the support, man. Bharat Kumar, welcome. Hey there, Jerome. How's it going, man? Nice to see you again, Bharat. Nice to see you. Solwong says, what's going to happen to your Huawei phone since the US license has expired? Well, I don't think much is going to change because I don't use Google services the way I do on my other phones, right? I use YouTube Advanced. I go through the Aurora store to get everything I need. So I don't really know how it's going to affect me or if it's going to affect me in a different way. But if it does, I'll let you know as well. These are great questions, Salwonk. I appreciate you asking. Jason Lim says the Google Pixel 5 battery size will be 3,080 milliamp hours, just as bad as the Pixel 4s. Has that been confirmed, Jason? Are they putting 3080 in there because they're going to be using a Snapdragon 765G, so they know they're going to have a more efficient chipset? Is that their plan here? So now we'll just get a teeny bit better battery life on the Pixel 5. I don't understand why they would do that. I'm not really sure. Okay. Jason, by the way, welcome. Nice to see you, man. Y says, hope the battery rumors are false for the Pixel 5. I do too. Y, welcome, man. Nice to see you, dude. Bharat says, will Pixel introduce, or will, I'm trying to decipher it all. Will the Pixel introduce a perfect flagship to give tough competition to the likes of Apple or Samsung? So Bharat, that's a great question. And that's something that I have talked about many times, and we really don't know. Like, I don't have a lot of faith right now because the Pixel 4 wasn't a great flagship at the price point. Maybe the Pixel 4 XL was a better buy, but I don't know. So if you want my honest answer, like, yes, I think one day Google will get it right. I just don't know if that's going to be the Pixel 5 or the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 8 or the Pixel 10. I don't know when that's coming. I can't remember the last time I had a Pixel phone where I was like, yeah, this is the one to get. Although it's not a flagship, but right now, because the 4a 5G is not out, the Pixel 4a is, I believe, is the Pixel phone to get right now. Unless you are looking for a gaming phone, you're looking for higher performance, I don't see why you wouldn't buy a 4A or a 4A 5G. If you are looking for better performance, though, I would hold off on the 4A. Not that the 4A has been lagging for me, but I would hold off and wait to see what the 4A 5G can give you and see then if it's worth the extra $150, if it's worth the $500 versus the $350. Paul says that'll be a pretty good looking brick. You guys are giving me shit right now for my Huawei P40. Wait till the camera comparison comes out. God damn it. Wait till it comes out. A ceramic brick, that is. Screw you guys. Zane Beg, hello. How's it going, Zane? Nice to see you again. Been a while. Was painting some rooms in my house. Finally got to catch the stream. Zane, welcome. Nice to see you, man. Welcome. Jason says, it says Google, quote, believes it can fully optimize a smaller battery similar to Apple. So if Google believes it can fully optimize it, I think that would only be more achievable when they create their own custom chipset, and not with the current Qualcomm that it has. I think Google is capable of doing it with Qualcomm. I just don't know if they're going to take the time to do the research and do all of that. Yeah. Salwong says, Phone Arena says the Pixel 5G will debut on October 8th. Okay. If the Pixel 5 debuts on October 8th, when is the iPhone 12 supposed to debut? I can't remember when they said that was supposed to debut. Yeah, unless Google makes their own SoC, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly what I said, Jason. So, okay, guys, let me go ahead and let me continue on with the Pixel 4a. So the two last things I want to talk about here, I want to talk about the battery and I want to talk about the camera. So to be fair, I have not had enough time to test out the battery. Yesterday, I used the phone and the phone wasn't at 100% battery and I used it pretty extensively, but I did not top off the phone at 100%. So I can't give you a fair assessment of the battery just yet. What I ended up doing last night, though, was I charged it to 100% and then I took it off the charger this morning at 7 a.m. Okay. So I took it off. Here, I'll put it this way. I took it off the phone this morning at 7 a.m. It is 3:20 p.m. right now. So what is that? About 8 hours. This has been off the charger for about 8.5 hours. And I'm going to go through the stats here. Okay. So this phone has been off the charger for about 8.5 hours. I have used about 7 hours on Wi-Fi and about an hour and a half. No, we'll say about 2 hours, about 2 hours on LTE. And the rest of the time, about 6.5 hours or so on Wi-Fi. I'm looking at the phone right now, and this phone right now has 2.5 hours of screen on time, screen usage. Okay. So 8.5 hours. This phone has been off the charger for 8.5 hours, 2 hours on LTE, 6.5 hours on Wi-Fi, and about 2.5 hours of screen on time. Can you guess what percentage the battery is at on here? Any guesses, or you guys just want me to show you? Nothing has been changed here. This is on auto brightness. The always on display has been left alone. I turned on swipe down for fingerprint swipe or whatever, but that shouldn't affect battery. Nothing has really, I haven't done anything else to affect battery. I haven't changed digital well-being or anything like that. But 2.5 hours of screen on time now, 8 hours off the charger. I'm just going to show you guys because either comments aren't scrolling or you guys are just listening. But that is what my percentage is right now. For anyone who can't see that, that is 65% battery with 2.5 hours of screen on time, which is, I have turned off a lot of stuff on my Pixel 4. Brian says 60%. You were close. You were close. So with that being said, I would imagine 5 hours of screen on time would put me at what? 30%? So I'm easily going to pull over 5, maybe close to 6 hours of screen on time, which I think is pretty impressive. The fact that my Pixel 4 gives me somewhere around 4 to sometimes 5, and I've pulled 6 hours of screen on time on my Pixel 4, but I've had to turn a lot of things off. I turn off Soli, I turn off digital well-being, and I turned off a number of other things on that phone. And more or less on my Pixel 4, I get more like 4.5 of screen on time, 4.5 hours of screen on time, which is not awful. But compared to my iPhone 11 Pro, compared to the fact that I spent $800 on this phone, I would have expected a better battery. That's the best way I can put it. So the battery so far on my Pixel 4a is not bad at all. At 65% battery life, with over 2.5 hours of screen on time, with, I don't know, what is that? 20%, maybe less than 20% of LTE usage. It's not bad at all. So that's as much as I can share so far with battery life. When I have more time with this phone, then I will get into that. So Okay, let me see here. Oddweight says, LOL, I don't get that sort of battery life on my Note 10 Plus. Mid-range phones all the way. There you go. Sergio Corretto. Sergio, how's it going, man? What's up? Just left work and checking in the stream. Sergio, nice to see you, man. Always nice to see you. Yeah, just doing a little more review on the Pixel 4a, just sharing my thoughts on it. So that is what I have for the battery. The last thing I want to talk about is the camera. The camera on the Pixel 4a, at least for the time that I've spent on it, is excellent. I don't think this is a surprise to many people. The camera is one of the reasons people are looking to buy this Pixel 4a. But now you can add things like 128 gigs of internal storage, a $350 price point, clean Android, stock Android, whatever you want to call it. And a pretty solid experience, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share a couple photos. I'm not going to share all the photos I took because I'm using these photos to compare to my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. But the color profile on these pictures are pretty similar to the Pixel 4. I'm not going to give you a side-by-side because I haven't done a side-by-side yet. But these are pictures I have taken with my Huawei P40 Pro Plus as well, but I'm not going to show you those comparisons until I actually finish the video, which is what I'm going to start working on after the stream today. But the Pixel 4a takes a very contrasty type of photo. You can see that here. Yes, there was a lot of shade yesterday, but there was a lot of sun as well. You can see very dark shadows, very rich kind of greens. Obviously, these photos have been untouched. I did not mess with the brightness or exposure settings. This was taken completely stock, right? Just double clicked on the power button here, launched the camera app and just started, shooting. So again, like bright sun, but still very dark, kind of like contrasty shots, but very clear, like they're good looking photos, right? Photos that like I can maybe do some minor touch ups to, maybe even add a little more contrast. These are how I like my photos. And if you like your photos this way, then, you should be pretty happy with the results. Here's another shot here. Also, again, kind of that dark kind of shot, but still good colors, good detail. When it comes to these photos, this is a $350 phone giving you these results on a camera. And then I took this one today. I actually posted this up on my Instagram. For people who don't follow me on my Instagram, I do take a lot of photos and I post what I can on my Instagram. If you're curious about what that Instagram is, you can find me at Phone Jerome. You can go ahead and add me on there. I'm also on Twitter and all that. But yeah, like look at this. This is an untouched photo that I've taken on my Pixel 4a, completely untouched. I didn't edit anything in here at all. You can see the imperfections on the wall here. Here's the shopping cart that was just put in front of that. I didn't do that. That was just there. But nice, bright, contrasty colors on the Pixel 4a. Let me see. Okay, this is a portrait shot. This came out pretty nice too. Pretty impressive for a portrait shot on the Pixel 4a. Did a really good job blurring the background. If we zoom in, you can see it's not perfect though, right? You can see imperfections here. You can see kind of a blur there. It looks like it didn't miss any spots, but it's because I didn't have like my arms open up. Otherwise, yeah, pretty good edge detection, right? When it comes to those photos. And then here's the thing though too. So I took this shot in direct sunlight, and this really shows the dark contrast. You'll see things are a lot darker here. And the next shot after this is a shot with my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. I wanted to at least show you one comparison. So you can see this shot here, again, very dark, very dark blacks, very contrasty. Like it shows, it like makes my skin look like, I don't know. To me, it's not as appealing. And And then here is the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. This is my $1,300 phone. So I don't think this shot is great either. This shot, it's either because it's taken in direct sunlight, but it's trying to brighten everything up. So the color here is much better. This is a much better representation of color with the orange in the sun. But if we go back, you can see it loses that here on the Pixel 4, or the Pixel 4a, excuse me. And you can see this is like much bright. This is a lot brighter. What is going on in my comments? What am I looking at here? Someone is talking to me in Tagalog. And I don't know if you're spamming. So here's the thing, Christabel. I can understand Tagalog, but I can't read it. So unless you read it to me, completo dahil sa wala ay wifi dito libre. Sino ang gustong kumita ng 4K kahit na... Okay, Christabel, please do me a favor. If you can speak English, can you please translate in English for me? Yes, I know I'm Filipino, but like I can understand when people speak in Tagalog, but like I just saw that huge thing come up and I'm like, I can't. Yeah, so just do me a favor if you can. Otherwise, I'll translate it later. Also you're on Facebook, so Christabel, welcome on Facebook. Anyway, yeah, so you can see here, this is a much brighter shot. This is a much darker shot that I think loses a bit of, I hate saying the word dynamic range. You can also see the zoom is so much different, right? Because the 4A is a much closer shot, and then I kind of had to either move in closer, I think, with the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. Also, it's crazy that I have veins in my arms. It's not something I typically had until I lost all this weight. But anyway, that's it as far as the camera. I think that's really all I got. I just wanted to show you a couple samples and show you what the 4A is capable of. And when I put a proper camera comparison out, I'm going to work on that video today, and hopefully I'll get it done so I can have it up for tomorrow. No promises though, guys. Like really just, I have so much on my plate. So it's been hard to really get everything done, but I'm trying. So, I think, guys, otherwise that might be it. I had a couple stories that I was going to share, and I don't have the time to do that right now. So we are almost an hour and a half in here. So I think I'm going to call it for today. Let me get through chat though. Oddweight says, any perceivable lag? So yeah, Oddweight, if you were listening earlier, I really have not noticed anything. The only time I got lag was when I was trying to download all my apps at once. If you're a gamer though, you might experience that lag. I did notice some lag on Chrome though. I'm going to have to double check that. I'm going to have to verify and make sure. But I think the only app that I experienced any kind of lag was in Chrome, but I'll double check on that and I'll give you an update tomorrow. Also, unrelated question, do you not like Samsung phones as much? So here's how I feel about Samsung. I love Samsung's hardware. I think they make great hardware on phones. I know they've done a better job when it comes to software with One UI, but I am not a fan of their software. Regardless, I'm still not a fan. I would love to have a combination of Samsung hardware and stock Google software and have them put that together. I don't, it's not that I don't like Samsung phones. I actually think the Note 20 Ultra would be a great phone. I feel like that looks like a great upgrade to the S20 Ultra, considering how they botched the S20 Ultra's camera. I would love to try a Note 20 Ultra out. But again, the software is the part that really gets to me. I'm not the biggest fan of the software. And I don't know when that's ever going to change. So yeah. Bharat says, I'll definitely go for the 4A as you gave a clear view of having pretty much everything you could ask for at just $350. Bharat, I hope that was helpful. I really hope that kind of cleared up a few things. And, if you end up getting it, let me know. I should ask though, would you wait for the Pixel 4a 5G? Would you pay $150 more for just a little more processing power? Would you pay $150 more for just a bigger display, a bigger battery, and possibly an extra lens on the camera? I'm not trying to sway you and tell you not to buy a 4A, because I think at $350, this is the best phone you can buy at that price point. Well, then again, at $500, there's a lot of other options as well. And maybe the 4A 5G, I don't know. But anyway, Bharat, hopefully it was helpful for you. So, okay. Daniel's in here. Daniel at the very last second here. Daniel Lufker. Hey, what's going on, Daniel? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Saul Wong says, I got tired of stock Android, not many features to play around with. Fair enough. Definitely fair enough. And like, that's something that like, I can't, people are like, people should like what they like. And it's always nice that these other UIs are out there to give other people options on what to use and how to use them. And Samsung has definitely created its own niche of people who like their UI, who like their emoji, who like having that kind of like ecosystem and experience. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. Oddweight says the Pixel 4a makes me feel how Oddweight, the Pixel 4a makes me feel how does Apple make a profit on the SE? I don't know. I don't know how much profit they're making on the SE, but I feel like they're making some profit because they're really using a bunch of like outdated parts. And I feel like it just might be parts that they've had sitting in a bin and decided that they could use it now. But I don't know. Jason says both models are not coming to Singapore. That's a shame. So what are you going to do, Jason? What are your options then? That sucks. I always feel bad because like, I don't know why phones don't. And well, we talked about this already. We talked about the fact that Google doesn't really cater to their audience. They put things in such a limited market. I'm going to put this camera a little lower. I feel like it's a little too high. I really should do this beforehand, but whatever. Now that's too low. Okay. That'll work for now. Bharat says it would be better if they add an IP rating along with wireless charging for $500. You mean on the 4A? I see. For me, I'll be honest with you. For me, an IP rating and wireless charging, those are not deal breakers for me. So for me, I would rather spend $350 and eliminate those two things. But it's again, it really depends on the person. If they wanted to take this 4A 5G and make it $500, then I would have rather that they put a 765G chipset in there instead, and then maybe do something else. But for me, like, I think that $350 is such a sweet spot because no other phones are touching the Pixel 4a at the $350 price point. Okay. So, Oddweight says thoughts on Epic versus Apple. Since you're against the YouTube monopoly, I'm against all monopolies. Oddweight, not just YouTube, and not just monopolies. I'm also talking oligopolies like telecoms and all that kind of stuff. So here's the thing: is like if you want to talk about Epic and Apple, I think that Epic is, and another article pointed this out. Epic is pretending to be like this low player on the totem pole. Like, oh, we're the underdogs. Like, root for us. But Epic is just another big company as well, just trying to make as much money as they can. I will say that I do applaud Epic for saying 30% cut is not fair. Just like here on YouTube. YouTube takes 30% from me as a creator, and it's such a big cut, and it's not fair. At least that's how I feel about it. But I don't like Epic pretending like they're some small time company that's trying to fight for the people. I think the article I read said this well and said, if Epic wants to go ahead and fight Apple, they can do that, but they need to do it in the benefit of the consumer. So like you could think Epic is trying to benefit the consumer by saying, no, don't buy V-Bucks on the App Store or on Google Play Store, but buy V-Bucks straight from us and you'll get a discount. Yeah, you'll get a discount, but they still make more profit at the end of the day. I think for me, Apple and Google, they just need to cut down on the revenue that they make from developers and for people like me, content creators. Is that ever going to happen? No. But it's nice to see a company at least do something. But Epic's not doing it for the people. Epic's doing it for themselves. They're doing it because they want to make more money. That's really all it comes down to. That's kind of how I feel about it. Bharat was saying, yes, I was considering the 4A 5G. There you go. Well, the options are out there. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. That's all I got for today. I was going to go through a couple stories, but really it's an hour and a half. So I do want to thank everybody. Please, if you haven't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I do stream Mondays through Fridays at 2 p.m. Central. Come back tomorrow here at 2 p.m. We're going to do it all over again. We're going to do this whole streaming, whatever it's called, and I don't have my outro. I thought I had my outro up. I was like all ready to go. But guys, thank you for coming by today. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. For people who super chatted today, Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. Guys, for speaking in chat, for having a community. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. I'll give you an update on the Pixel 4a, and we'll probably go through a couple stories tomorrow because I don't want to spend another complete hour talking about it. But it just depends on what's happening. So come back tomorrow. I said that too many times. I'm about to play the outro and wave goodbye. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. Take it easy. Bye.